Let's starts now. The Descent of Destruction, the Ash of Canada. Scene 1, the False Peace. Following the absolute annihilation of the three monarchs in Seoul, a heavy, suffocating silence hangs over the world. The citizens of Korea celebrate, hailing Sung Jin-Woo as a living god. But Jin-Woo doesn't feel like a victor. He stands in the middle of a destroyed street, looking at the super gate that still lingers in the sky. It is empty now, but the mana leaking from it feels like a countdown. They were just the scouts, Jin-Woo whispers to himself. He calls back his shadows, but he leaves Baru and a Grizz on high alert. He knows that the real king hasn't arrived yet. The ruler's vessels, the national level hunters, are gathering in secret. They can feel it too. The balance of the universe has tilted, and the weight of destruction is about to crush the earth. Scene 2, the colossal gates. The peace lasts exactly 48 hours. Simultaneously, 8 massive gates, each larger than the one in Seoul, open across the globe. They appear over the United States, China, Russia, Brazil, Germany, Australia, and Canada. The Hunter Bureau's satellite monitors begin to scream with alerts. The mana readings are off the charts. It's not just one boss, it's an entire ecosystem of monsters pouring out of each gate. It's not a raid, Wu Jinshul says, staring at the screens in the association war room. It's a global invasion. They aren't trying to conquer us. They are trying to erase us. Jin-Woo looks at the map. He can sense the presence of the monarchs in each gate, but one stands out. One gate feels like a sun made of black fire. It's located over Canada. Scene 3, the tragedy of Canada. Canada becomes the first sacrifice. As the gate over Toronto opens, it doesn't release orcs or giants. It releases dragons. Not the wyverns or drakes hunters have fought before, but ancient dragons. The kind that Kamish was. Thousands of them pour out, their scales shimmering with the heat of 1,000 furnaces. Leading them is a man with hair the color of fresh blood, wearing armor that seems to be made of solidified magma. Antares, the Monarch of Destruction. He doesn't say a word. He doesn't need to. He simply looks at the city below him and inhales. Skill, breath of destruction. A beam of pure, white-hot energy erupts from his mouth. In a single second, the city of Toronto is gone. There is no rubble, no ruins, only ash and molten glass. 5 million lives are snuffed out before they can even scream. Scene 4, the hunters' despair. The world watches the satellite feed in horror. The strongest hunters in North America, including the remaining Sranks who weren't at the Grand Canyon, rush to the border. They encounter the army of destruction. It's not a fight, it's a harvest. The dragons move with a speed that defies their size. They breathe fire that melts through mana-reinforced shields like paper. Thomas Andre, still recovering from his injuries, watches from his hospital bed in New York. He tries to stand, but his legs give way. "Don't go out there, Thomas," his assistant pleads. "If that thing comes here," Thomas says, his voice cracking, "there won't be a New York to defend. We aren't hunters anymore. We're just meat." The news broadcast stops showing footage. There is nothing left to show but a growing black spot on the map where a country used to be. Scene 5, Jin-Woo's realization. Jin-Woo is in his room, clutching his head. Through his connection to the shadows he spread across the world, he can hear the deaths. He feels the terror of millions of souls being extinguished. "I'm not fast enough," he growls. He realizes that even with his shadow exchange, he can only be in one place at a time. The Monarch of Destruction is playing a game of numbers. While Jin-Woo defends one city, Antares will burn 10 others. He enters his shadow realm to consult with the Shadow Legion. "My king," the Grizz speaks, his voice solemn. "The army of destruction is the shadow's natural opposite. They exist only to end things, to stop them. You cannot just be a king. You must become the end itself." Jin-Woo looks at his hands. They are trembling, not with fear, but with a frantic, desperate need for more power. He realizes he needs to gather every single shadow he can find. He needs to harvest the dead to save the living. Scene 6. The gathering of the rulers. In a pocket dimension, the rulers, the beings of light, are watching the earth burn. The Shadow Monarch is failing, one says, his wings glowing with a cold, celestial light. The Dragon Emperor is too strong for this world. If we don't interfere now, the earth will be reduced to a cinder. If we interfere, we will destroy the earth ourselves with our presence, another argues. The vessel is not ready. Son Jin-Woo has the heart of Ashborn, but he still has the mind of a human. He fears for his family. That fear makes him slow. They decide to wait for one more sign. They want to see if Jin-Woo can survive a direct encounter with Antares. If he fails, they will use the Cup of Reincarnation to reset everything, effectively killing Jin-Woo and starting the cycle of suffering all over again. Scene 7. The Last Stand of the Nations. The United Nations holds an emergency session via hologram. The world leaders are screaming, blaming each other, and demanding that Korea send their god to help them. Jin-Woo appears in the middle of the digital conference. His presence is so overwhelming that the holograms flicker and distort. "Quiet," Jin-Woo says. The room falls dead silent. "I cannot save your cities," he says bluntly. "If I try to defend every gate, we will all die. I am withdrawing all hunters to a single point. We will draw the Dragon Emperor to us." "And where is that point?" the President of the United States asks. "An island," Jin-Woo says, "far from any civilians. If we're going to fight a war that resets the world, we'll do it where there's nothing left to burn." Scene 8. The Departure. Jin-Woo goes to his home one last time. He sees Jinna studying for her exams. She doesn't know the full extent of the horror in Canada yet. The government is censoring the news to prevent global riots. He stands at her doorway for a long time. "Hey," she says, looking up. "You're going again?" "Yeah," Jin-Woo says. "Just a big raid. It might take a while." "Don't be late for dinner next week," she jokes, though her eyes are misty. "Mom is making your favorite?" Jin-Woo nods and walks away. He knows there is a very high chance he will never eat that dinner. He knows that to win this war, he might have to sacrifice his humanity entirely. Scene 9. The Island of the End. Jin-Woo teleports to a deserted island in the middle of the ocean. He begins to channel his mana into the ground. Skill, domain of the Monarch, infinite expansion. The entire island begins to turn black. The trees, the rocks, the sand. Everything becomes infused with shadow mana. He is creating a trap. He is turning the island into a giant summoning circle. From the shadows, his army emerges. Not just the 100,000, but the millions. The shadow giants form a wall around the coast. The shadow dragons fill the sky. In the distance, the horizon turns a hellish orange. The temperature starts to rise. The water begins to boil. A single figure appears in the sky, miles away, yet feeling like he is standing right in front of Jin-Woo. Antares has arrived. He is riding a dragon that makes Kamish look like a lizard. Scene 10. Face to face with destruction. Antares lands his dragon on the opposite side of the island. He hops off, his heavy boots crunching the blackened sand. He looks at Jin-Woo's army. He looks at the millions of shadow soldiers. Then he laughs. It's a deep, booming laugh that causes a tsunami to rise from the ocean. "Is this it, Ashborn?" Antares asks, his eyes glowing like dying stars. "You chose this little human to inherit your legacy?" He smells of milk and fear. Jin-Woo steps forward, his daggers appearing in his hands. "The man you're talking about is dead. I'm the one who's going to put you in a shadow grave." Antares smirks. He raises his hand and the sky splits open. 10,000 ancient dragons descend, their mouths already glowing with the fire of destruction. "Let's see if you can survive the heat of a burning world, little king." A split screen. On one side, Jin-Woo's violet eyes glowing with the power of death. On the other, Antares' red eyes glowing with the power of destruction. The two energies clash in the middle, creating a rift in reality that begins to swallow the island. The words Season 7, Episode 5, The Final Showdown begins appear. End of Episode 4.